JIA, also known for Juvenile Idiopathic Arthritis.
Hi, I'm Lindsey and I'm Gertie's mum.
For me, it's sometimes scary, annoying and sad. Because sometimes my friends are doing stuff and I'm not really can do it. And because sometimes it hurts and I just want it to go away.
It's a condition that affects one or more of the joints in the body, usually resulting in pain, sometimes, not in Gertie's case, inflammation. It can also affect the eyes with the condition called uveitis, which is inflammation in the eyes. And then there's invisible elements to it too, like fatigue, side effects of medication. It affects your sleep, doesn't it? So you're often a bit more tired because it wakes you in the night, struggling to get to sleep. So there's lots of invisible parts that aren't necessarily obvious as well.
I remember that I was at a party and my arm hurt, and then when I came home it was kind of hurting in my palms as well.
It started, like Gertie said, in a few different parts of her body, and it would move around, so it was really difficult to understand what was going on. It was just this pain that would come, impact her for a few days and then go again, sometimes for longer. And it would stop her from walking, it would stop her, she'd need help with getting herself dressed or sometimes feeding herself. But because it moved around, it was really difficult to pinpoint. There was no trauma or anything that seemed to have caused it. Sometimes you'd have to crawl down the stairs or bum shuffle to get to things. And so it was from there that we started to realise we needed to do something, and then we went to the GP and then we got various referrals from there. In terms of the time leading up to diagnosis, it was really uncertain. We wouldn't know whether she was going to wake in pain. She'd go to bed in pain, but then she might wake up okay, or it might be worse. So you sort of always hope that sleep would help and it would be a new day and it would be better. And often she would be awake for hours in the night in pain. So that was really tough. The lack of sleep then obviously affects how both of us and the rest of the family were dealing with it. I think it took us a long time to get the diagnosis. Gertie's blood markers don't necessarily show inflammation, and because there was nothing visible in terms of the joints, we were told multiple times that she didn't have arthritis. So there was a lot of trial and error of different things. She doesn't show the typical markers in ultrasounds, x-rays. So that whole process took a long time, and in that time she got worse and worse. So would be going to school in a lot of pain. We took you to school in the pram for a little while, didn't we, which you hated. And she'd be going in not really able to stand up or walk properly. But I knew that she needed to keep mobile and that was the best option for her, rather than sitting at home and staying still, which is everything in you screams that you just want her to rest and to stay still and to recover. But with arthritis, that's not necessarily the best thing. So you're sort of fighting yourself to encourage her, even when she's in pain and you can see that she's in pain, to still get you to get up and walk around or move or do your exercises. And I think going to school and being with your friends and being distracted, you've always say helped, and I think I knew that right from the start. So it was really hard to drop her to school in the mornings, seeing how she was, but I just felt like there was no other choice really.
Scary.
Yeah.
And just scary.
Yeah, I didn't really know too much about it because I hadn't researched it. I'd sort of made myself not go down a rabbit hole of Googling, particularly because we were told that it wasn't arthritis. But I felt relieved to have a name, relieved to have a condition, and the consultant was amazing, and as soon as she sort of saw her, just put her straight on a course of steroids whilst we then waited for what needed to happen in order to then get her onto methotrexate, which is one of the first typical treatment routes. And the steroids were just a godsend, and within a couple of days, do you remember jumping down the stairs? Everything was, "Mummy, look, Mummy, look." I can come down the stairs. She jumped down the stairs, where for so long before that it was really struggling down the stairs. And I can remember you sitting on the floor and standing up. "Mummy, I can stand up from sitting on the floor." And all these things that over time, because she just so gradually got worse, we didn't realise quite how severe it was. So that was amazing. Just that, and it happened so quickly that she just got better so quickly, and the pain went. But I also talk about sort of almost feeling like you swallowed a medical encyclopedia, and suddenly all these acronyms, all this terminology that you're trying to get accustomed to, and it felt really lonely because it's not very common. So trying to sort of build, sort of find a community, find people who knew what was going on, whilst also sometimes it's still invisible, and you can't necessarily see everything. So it was uncertain, it was challenging, it was scary, but there was a lot of relief that we were on a path, and then hope that we'd be able to treat you effectively.
Still sometimes annoying.
Yeah.
Still sometimes scary, but it's a lot better than it was. I do lots of dancing and gymnastics than I did back in the past. Yeah, but still sometimes that is when I can't do the same thing as my friends.
And you sit out then sometimes, don't you, and you watch instead. But you push through lots and lots of times, don't you? You're always trying to still do everything. And we encourage you to, don't we, so that you're still moving your body. You know that even if you don't feel like it, you sometimes feel better.
I take a lot of medicine, but not as much as I did. And some of them taste disgusting, and some of them taste alright.
Do you want to talk about your injection? Because that's been a big deal for you, hasn't it?
And then back in the past, I had 2 injections on a Thursday night and in the morning on Friday. But now I only have to have 1 on Friday.
And you don't like it, do you? How does it make you feel?
It hurts in where it's been in, and it also makes me kind of sometimes hobble a little bit on that leg.
We sort of have a bit of a routine, don't we? If I think it's going to be a bad day, it's not unusual for me to have a bath ready for when she wakes up. I try and let her sleep. If she's been awake in the night, then I try to let her sleep as long as I can before needing to wake her up for school. So I'll have the bath ready and almost chuck her straight in the bath so that you can kind of move around a bit. We play music a lot, don't we? So that you almost can't resist dancing when the music's on. So we have music in the mornings a lot, don't we? And you dance and move around. there's a lot of cuddles, of trying to understand. You often get quite worried that people don't believe you, don't you? So I say, look at my face, don't I? And I tell you that it's okay and that we believe you and that people understand, and what other people think doesn't really matter. And you dance with Daddy a lot, don't you? That's not unusual for him to come home, and then if you're struggling a bit. And then your brothers sometimes help. They might do your exercises with you.
And also, Baby Yoda.
Yeah, teddies, cuddles. You come and get into bed with us most nights, don't you? Well, we have a mattress in our bedroom, so it's a musical beds depending on who gets kicked out of bed, so that you can have some comfort in the night. And then connections with school and friends and those sorts of things, to just try and build awareness and speak for you when you don't necessarily want to share how you're feeling, maybe. Life has changed a lot. The first year or so was really difficult, trying to navigate all the different tests, checkups, appointments, and the unknown, and just trying to get the more time goes on, the more familiar you become with it. So when she wakes with pain, it's not necessarily as scary now, because I can rationalise that it might be better in 2, 3, 4 days, where in the past it was sort of a panic. When do you get in contact with the rheumatology team? At what point do you think about upping medication? But yeah, now we're a bit more familiar with that. We manage trips and outings and holidays around not expecting too much. We take your scooter everywhere, don't we? So you've grown out of the pram, age 9, and we drag you on the scooter if you're really struggling, or you might just scoot for a little bit, mightn't you? So that comes in the suitcase on holidays with us. And we just can't do some things that we may have been doing at this stage. So holidays are a bit more slower paced and relaxed, maybe less active, but then we're guided by Gertie, and we still plan to do a lot. We very much don't let it restrict us too much, but yeah, things have had to change to accommodate.
And sometimes I don't really like it, so sometimes I cry in front of the teacher, and sometimes my teacher has this desk at the back where I can stretch and stand up. One friend who really, really does support me a lot.
What do you have in your pencil case? What do you do in the mornings when you go in that's really nice?
I've got this 1 to 10 cards, and I press it on my desk to show her which number I'm at, with 10 being the highest and 0 being the lowest.
She has a healthcare plan. Some key areas on that would be that she has medication at school, so we have homeopathic medication, as well as sort of pain relief. So Gertie you go to the office, don't you, and ask for that when you need it, and they will give you that. Her current teacher has personal experience of arthritis, so the standing desk that Gertie talks about, she just did on her own right from the start. So Gertie can go to the back of the class and use that desk if she wants to, and you also get up and go and do some stretches and movements. You're allowed movement breaks if you want to. You have a stand sometimes, don't you? That came from her having a sore neck, but actually it helps with your wrist and your writing, doesn't it? It's hard to know what adjustments there can be, partly because I don't feel the pain and partly because I don't see her in the classroom. So there's been a lot over the years. There's been a lot of back and forth about it's that dialogue that has then enabled us to get to a place where now there's a lot of adjustments that she can have that I wouldn't have been able to articulate right from the start. Things like you queuing for lunch, you can go to the front of the queue now so that you're not standing still for a long time. But that took you having to tell me that that's what you were doing and that was a problem for you, didn't it? And then when we spoke to school, then it was fixed really quickly. So I would say it's about having that dialogue with school and them trying to articulate what they see. Trying to get them to understand, which can be really difficult on a bad day, but on an invisible day. That can be really difficult, and you've got to speak up for yourself, haven't you? Which they're working really hard with you on, aren't they? That's one of your targets, to advocate for yourself. We've talked about that word. So that the teachers and those around the school can understand what's going on as well. And then hopefully it will get easier as Gertie gets older and better understands. But yeah, we've been lucky that there's been bumps along the way, but we've been lucky that the dialogue with school has always been really open and supportive. Navigating the system is a challenge, and I think it is subjective, depending on who the consultant is, who you're dealing with, what hospital, and that's something that I think you can't underestimate with a chronic condition. We were fortunate that the consultant that diagnosed us was really supportive, very Gertie focused, so very much let's treat the condition. And I think what I then really struggled with, because I was finding it really hard seeing her in pain, I wasn't coping particularly well, but that all kind of came secondary. You know, I'm not the patient. We were referred to a charity first of all, but they deal much more with older children and adults, so it took a while, and I think NRAS was one of the first ones, and you, Maddie, who I connected with, and it's hard because you don't know what's out there, but yeah, through various kind of starting to explore navigating your way around the system a bit more, then gradually starting to connect with other charities, other people who have got a similar experience. That was really hard, not being able to sort of point people out that have got similar experiences to you. But over time we've found other people, haven't we? And then through sharing our story, which we started to do when you started your second injection, we've then met other people and made more connections with charities that has helped us to then build that community, which is, yeah, I think been vital. I think it's about asking for support, not keeping it to yourself. That advocacy, it's advocacy, but it's also about thinking about what you need, what the child needs, what the parents need, and being able to be comfortable to ask for that support that comes in so many different ways over the kind of period immediately post-diagnosis and then going forwards. What JIA has shown us is that even though it can be life-changing, children like Gertie are incredibly resilient, and with the right support they can thrive.
Even though I have JIA, I can still have fun and be me.
That's perfect. Bye.